is over.
Hi, this is Kyle Scarborough, Cult of Wyndham. You're listening to the Insiders Podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to this special edition of the Insiders Podcast. Thank you for joining us. We are going to this is just going to be a small little episode tonight for us, and we are just here to, number one, promote a great interview that we had with Kyle Scarborough. And everyone knows this is Bray Wyatt's tattoo artist. He's also a good friend of Bray's. So we are here to preview that. Welcome to Jodie and welcome to Jeff. What's up, guys?
Nothing much. How are you?
Not doing too bad. Jodie, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just got home from work.
All right. So we're ready to roll. So again, like I said, we have that interview coming up. And before we get into that, we're just going to go a little bit over some of the stuff that we had. Now, we know we talked in the Abby's Window segment about some of the little cryptic things we were seeing, and obviously that's still going on. So we're getting, it seems like, a picture a day. Now, as of recording this, we haven't gotten a picture yet today, but we're still getting those pictures. Guys, what are you thinking of those pictures now? Have you changed your opinions at all about any of this stuff since we saw the first one?
Jodie, I'll let you go first.
No, I still think we are getting a dark alter ego of Huskus the Pig Boy. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. If I'm wrong, I will eat my words, but I think this is going to be a new persona for Bray. I think the Cult of Wyndham is Bray and his many faces, and I think this is just going to be a new face.
What about you, Jeff?
I'm going to take that a step further because of all the stuff we've seen. I think not only will we get a new, darker version of Huskus, but I think we will also see some other faces as well that I think, because of how they can shoot this match, I think they'll do some things with some special effects, some green screens, that kind of stuff. And I think we'll see a couple different characters. I also feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is just a teaser, but I also feel like we're finally going to get to meet Abby. From the picture that we got yesterday, I really feel like that's going to happen. And I think it's going to be a scenario where it's going to be, not trying to give any puns or anything, but I think this will be a house of horrors for John Cena. And I think every room will represent something else. And as John Cena, as the Fiend or Bray Wyatt takes him from room to room, we'll get a reveal of something different in each room. That's at least what I'm hoping for. The pictures have been absolutely crazy. I know we spent a lot of time when the first picture came out, we spent a lot of time dissecting that, and every picture that we've had since then, I've done the same. I know all of you have done the same. I know the community has done the same, and I want to shout out my boy PB Green, because he's been texting me back and forth, and we've talked on the phone a few times like, hey, dude, did you see this? Well, this could mean this, or this could mean – so it's been quite an interesting ride, to say the least. But this is what's great about Bray and his character, is that the fact that he's doing something to make us think, and I'm just really looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned PB. I was going to mention him as well. He keeps throwing. He's eating his stuff up, and he's been sending stuff back and forth. The Abby photo, I don't know how I missed that. Totally missed it. Yes, totally missed it. When I was looking for everything else, and I scanned to that corner, and I was looking right at the pig, and I scanned right to that corner and did not see that. And then somebody DM'd me and said, "Is this Paige?" And I'm like, "Who are you talking about?" And then I looked, and I'm like, "Oh my God, there's a face right there." And I didn't. I don't think that's pulled from a movie. I can't. And if that's the case, And I mean, he could have drawn it obviously into there that way, and it looks so realistic. But I don't know, man. Do you think it's? I mean, PB was the one who actually said to me that he thought it was Paige. I don't know. I mean, Daze did a video earlier today on it too and said that is that Paige. I mean, I guess it could be. She doesn't really have a big part or a big role to play right now. There were rumors that she was going to be there, and then she never showed up. She was on the screen. But I don't know. I mean, is she going to go from being on screen making a woman's match to being Abby? I don't know. But I mean, what you were saying would be amazing. What both of you were saying would be amazing. I believe it's a new persona, yes. And if we're going to get more than one character, that would be amazing as well. Now, will the characters stick around? I don't know. It could just be used for the match itself, which is fine. And then, obviously we got the thing from WWE as well, tweeting out about Abby making an appearance, and obviously had the Smackdown sign behind her. So are they going to be? Is this going to? I guess is this going to happen Friday? I mean, are we going to see something Friday? Are they going to give something away before the WrestleMania?
No. I think
so.
if they do, it'll be some kind of teaser, but they're not going to give away one of the biggest secrets of a WrestleMania match the day before or 2 days before.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think
they may do a teaser, but they're not going to release the big spoiler.
Do you think he's going to get attacked? Do you think Cena will get attacked, Jeff?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely think he'll get attacked. I think we may even get an episode of the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah.
Interrupting him.
Yes. But here's the other thing that I think too. I also think with the match that we're going to get to see the real Firefly Funhouse.
Yep.
I think the cabin represents the actual Firefly Funhouse. What we see from Bray on SmackDown is what it is in his head.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But when they have the match, that's actually what the Funhouse is.
Let me run this one by you real quick, because I don't know did you see the picture that I put out of Mercy? The buzzard scrawled on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, if this is in a cabin, right? Now this goes back to the man in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
They lived in the woods, right? Probably in a cabin. So is this where he grew up, and the funhouse is technically where he lived at one point, and all these things that were in there? Now, are we seeing the drawing of Mercy on the floor? He may have drawn, did he draw that when he was a kid in there? And then the pig hanging up in there, was that in there when he was a kid? Are we seeing the inside?
His childhood memories.
Are we seeing, correct? Are we seeing the inside of his house from his childhood? And then obviously the thing of Abby up in the ceiling, well, I mean, she was the one who was in charge. So he would be thinking of her anyway. So that's what I don't know why I came to that, but are we seeing glimpses of his past?
Yes.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think people are gonna, and we'll go right into the Kyle's preview here, because you guys are gonna be amazed at the stuff that he tells us, the stuff that he went into, and you're gonna get a really good glimpse of where this character started, and the roots of the character, and it was amazing to listen to. And all of this stuff that you're seeing now with the artwork and with these pictures. Now these pictures could have been done before the Fiend happened.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this about the interview, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say this. I think we were all just stunned when we were talking with Kyle, and not just about the beginnings of the Fiend, but just getting that little glimpse of the mind of Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
That's what I was most fascinated with, to hear him tell the stories about how creative Bray is. I think we all know that, but to hear from someone who has kind of been witnessing that firsthand, it was just fascinating to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
So Jody, what's your biggest take? I mean, what was your biggest takeaway from it?
I was actually talking to Kyle a little bit earlier today and, telling him thank you again for coming on the show. And I just kind of said, you really gave us an insight into how Bray is as a person. We get such a small glimpse of him on television and on social media, and you kind of opened our eyes to who he is and what he's like as a person. And I think people are going to love that about this interview, that you will walk away from it feeling like you know him a lot better than you ever thought you would.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest takeaway from it. Like, you really get to see who he is. And that's the biggest thing that he shared during that interview, is just how Bray is and who he is. And I think people are going to love that.
Jeff, same question to you, and I think you kind of already covered it, and then I'll give mine.
I basically what I said earlier. I just think that being able to talk to someone that's close with Bray and getting the insight that we don't get, because we see one side of it. We only see the finished product. We don't see what goes into the planning and the creativity and all of those things. And, just to be able to talk to someone who's seen that firsthand, I think is just invaluable. And to be able to share this interview with the wrestling community is just going to be phenomenal, because I think it, like Jody said, it gives you more of an insight as to who Bray is and what he's all about, and just what he wants to bring to not only the wrestling community, but to the character that he's, currently working as.
Gives us more of a complete picture.
Right.
Yeah, it's a fascinating point. I kind of was just, I was just listening to him talk, and my mind was just blown. I can't say how much. First of all, if hopefully he listens to this, I can't thank him enough for coming on. It was a very, very cool interview. And yeah, I didn't think we would get that type of a look that we got from him, and it was really, really phenomenal. And like Jody and Jeff had said, you guys are really, really going to love this. This is a really good look at a person who, not all of us are going to ever have the pleasure of meeting or reaching inside of a mind of a person or talking to that person. So this is really, really a cool look at that, and a cool look at where the Fiend started. I know that's the stuff that got me. It intrigues me how things like this are brought up, and the story behind that is a phenomenal one. And I think, Jeff, I think we put a teaser. I think we have a teaser for that as well. If I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, the clip that we're going to share is actually discussing when the Fiend first appeared on television. And Kyle kind of talks about the planning process of doing the drawings and different things of that nature, and he discusses the first time that the Fiend showed up and what that made him feel like. And that's just, honestly, that part stood out to me as well, Joe. It was just a fascinating look at all of the work and all of the people that have to be involved to bring something like this to fruition.
I agree. And it comes from an artist perspective, which is very cool. This man is a really talented artist. And if you've never seen him, look him up on Twitter, guys. His artwork is phenomenal. And to see it come from an artist like that and then go to, come to life, had to be amazing. And again, that's touched on in the interview as well. So listen, guys, so without further ado, let's play that clip now, and we'll give you that teaser, take it in, and then we'll come back with a short little, short little ending here. So let's play that teaser now. What did you think when you first saw the Fiend walk out?
The first time I technically saw it, he had sent me a picture This when they were doing they were filming the vignettes for the Funhouse, because those early vignettes leading up to the debut, those was all done by, I believe Jason directed those.
Mm-hmm.
And, now they're just whatever they're doing with like the blue wall. I guess that's probably just backstage at the show. I don't know. But the full set stuff was all done at Savini's. And he had sent me a picture of him in the full gear, which I didn't know. I only knew my contribution at that point. And so seeing that was pretty crazy. And then, but you know, you don't get the picture didn't do it justice, because we come back home and we're the vignettes are airing on TV, and I'm watching along like anyone else is. I don't know anything beyond that you guys knew. I was just a fan at home watching it. Yeah, so watching it with everyone else, I didn't quite know what was going on. I had seen the picture. I knew what he would ultimately look like. I didn't even know it was called the Fiend, I don't think, at that point. So
wow.
My wife and I were at a concert in St. Louis. Tool had come to town, and she's
man,
nice.
She's a huge fan, so I surprised her with tickets to that. So that was pretty neat. I want to say towards the end of the show, I felt my phone buzzing in my pocket quite a bit, and Maynard's got a strict no phones out nonsense or something in the show, so I never was looking at it. So I had taken it out, and I remember the first message I think I caught was actually from a friend. Same friend who got me into Bray in the first place, who was very upset that I was doing all this. He's like, "You got to be kidding me! That's amazing, you're doing all this stuff." So
you didn't tell me.
He was very supportive, and I can't remember what his message said, but it was something to the effect of, you know, "Holy cow! That was amazing," or something. And I have no idea what he's talking about. So I'm checking through, and I'm seeing some updates and posts, and I'm seeing some other things triggered on social media, and I didn't know what was going on. So I finally checked my texts, and it's Bray. And as I've said before, his only comment was, "We changed the world," or "We changed wrestling," or something like that. And again, even more of the bizarre, I thought, what is he talking about? I still have no idea. And it wasn't until I think my friend had responded back, and he might have sent me a clip of the show of that night, because the night that they debuted the Fiend on the Funhouse, that happened there. So we were in St. Louis watching the show. I wasn't even seeing it on TV at that point. So I'm learning about everything in a parking garage leaving Scott Trade Arena. And so I got to come home and kind of sit and watch the whole thing play out. And seeing it that way was amazing. Just kind of seeing it all put together. And because the picture doesn't do it justice, you don't get he's singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" and there's all these other graphics. And I thought, what did I get involved in? This was the most brilliant thing in the world. And I remember thinking, my first thought was, I hope they do this right, because that was the biggest. When I knew of what he wanted to do with that character, I think like most people, we kind of thought they're going to do that on a PG wrestling show. And but hey, and that was my same thought going into the Lantern too. It's like, well, they're definitely not doing this, and I was proven wrong there. So it was pretty amazing.
Oh, unbelievable.
So now this is kind of just evolved over time, and I mean, as a fan, it's been amazing to watch, and seeing all your artwork that you've done for him. It's amazing. And like you, I was kind of like, they're going to do this on a PG show, but it seems like, obviously I don't know him, but it seems like they've really just kind of let him run with it. And other than that horrible Goldberg match, I mean, he's really just done what he wanted to.
I think that's very true. And I can't speculate on a lot, and anything that I would know, obviously I can't speak too much, but I will say that his ideas, this is definitely still his. And I think he's been also exceptional on the creative side of things, and how maybe the company wants to angle the character. And that's the one thing that he can't control, and I assume not. And again, I don't know to how far, but anything you come to understand, I don't think too many people have a lot of creative control over their characters. Your character is what you're doing, and you can have control in that. But where it goes from there, I think that gets a lot of hands involved in that one. I think we can clearly see that due to the amazing popularity of it is why we got this Seth Rollins feud, and then the belt, and then everything up. And then I think, as a fan, I'll say this honestly as anyone else, and I tell this to anybody else listening, you cornered yourself with that. You absolutely put your title on a character this is not about belts. Yeah. This is not about championships. And you put it on this invincible monster of a character. How are you going to get it off of him?
Right.
And as soon as they put the belt on him, I thought, good for him. As far as I was concerned, man to man, if this brings you more lucrative stuff, if you're going to, really sweep it up with merchandise and a belt means something, and I don't know all the ins and outs of wrestling contracts, and there's so many are different, and I don't care. But if that works out for you and your family, good for you. That's all. That's why I saw it. Get it while you can. But again, what are you going to do when that time's up? And that's personal opinion, I guess, on what people like and don't like or whatever. But I feel like, and I'm hoping, along with everyone else, that what we're going to finally be able to see now is kind of getting back to more of what it was meant to be.
Yeah, and I said that at some point in my interview, Joe, if you remember, the belt turned him into, he went from being the hunter to being the hunted, and now that he doesn't have it anymore, obviously we were very happy, but now he can go back to being the hunter again.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So we've also gotten a lot of stuff from you as far as the progression is concerned. And now obviously today was absolutely off the wall. Because we got your artwork first, because we saw what looked like a chainsaw. We saw what looked like it looked like a lace almost with a little bit of blood there. We saw something look like stitches, and all I could think of, and it's funny you brought that up earlier, because all I could think of was Texas Chainsaw. I must have said Texas Chainsaw to Jeff and Jodie a ton of times.
Yes.
Yep.
But we got that, and now today we got a picture this morning, which I didn't even see until I woke up earlier and came down. I'm like, oh my goodness. And right away we got a hold of each other and started talking about that picture that he put out today. And then we got the thing later than that from you, and it blew all of our minds. We were recording our show for the week, and all of a sudden we get this picture of that cabin. So is this something that, and again, whatever you can tell us and what you can is perfectly fine. But those kind of things, is that something that you're kind of ongoing with, like doing with him, or is this something that you're just doing, or is this some stuff that you're working on? Obviously we know you can't spoil anything, and that's so whatever you can say and what you can is totally.
I kind of want to just answer yes and just leave it at that. It's such a loaded.
Like I said, man, don't whatever you're comfortable with. I don't want to force you into something you can't talk about.
I mean, I understand. If I was me listening, I would want to know too, and I'd be just as eager and excited and whatnot. So much of it falls into a legal category.
Sure, absolutely.
I will say that it's been in for some time now. There's still things that have been, at the very least, talked about, up to designed, and whatever goes from there, I don't know. I mean, understand that when it comes to Bray, he's kind of like the sun, and anyone else who's working with this is just planets revolving his orbit. That's all we are part of something bigger, and in a lot of ways don't even know what the whole story is to all of it. So I've been involved with other aspects and things there's things that we were doing early, at the time of the Fiend mask that we've done that have not happened yet.
Wow.
And now when I use the word yet, it's not gospel. Right. It could very well never happen. I don't know.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that, man. Again, like Jeff said earlier, it just gives me chills. I love hearing that. It's so cool as a fan, and so cool as a to hear an artist talk about that kind of stuff. I love it. I absolutely love it. So guys, listen, this is going to go up on Saturday. We are going to have this debut at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be up after WrestleMania that night. So now, again, we're recording this beforehand, so we do not know a schedule yet for WrestleMania night 1, night 2. There are rumors out there that this match will be night 1, and we're keeping our fingers crossed. We're hoping that's the case, because then we could transition right over to the Kyle interview afterward. So it'll be 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And just before we go today, I'm just going to give you guys just some more updates on time. I know I threw them on Twitter. So we're changing again. We're changing our times up a little bit this coming week. Obviously, we have the Kyle interview on Saturday. And then on Monday, we're going to have Abby's Window will have her second episode. And as we all said, Jodie is now going to have her own thing here. So we're going to do that at 6 p.m. on Monday, Eastern Standard Time. That'll be before the day's stream. So that will be Abby's window. And obviously we will be, as long as everything goes well, either way, we're going to get a follow-up to that big match on Saturday or Sunday in WrestleMania in Abby's window. And then Jeff and I will be back after WrestleMania, after Days' stream, and we will be on at 11:15 premiere time for that. So before we go, guys, man, what are you most looking for? I know we heard a little bit from Jeff. Jodie, what are you most looking for from this match? What do you think your outcome is? What do you think the outcome is going to be? And then Jeff, I'll ask you the same thing.
I think Bray will emerge victorious, but I don't know that it's going to be the Fiend that puts him away. I think we may see something new, and I am fully expecting, as I said before, as long as WWE doesn't screw it up, fully expecting us to all be sitting there at the end of this match with our jaws on the floor going, what the hell was that? Oh my goodness, that was insane. So obviously I'm really, really looking forward to that match. I think everybody is. I think it's just going to be awesome. I think there's going to be a lot of theatrics to it. And yeah, we're just going to be sitting there, jaws on the floor at the end of it.
Jeff, what about you, bud?
I agree. I think the way this is my hope, at least. Obviously, WWE could do something that is completely different, and we've seen that before, so that wouldn't surprise me. But I really want to see. I want to dive deeper into this character, and I think this match will allow the fans to go on a ride, and we'll go. The word is evolution. I think we'll see this character evolve during this match. I think we'll see a lot more darkness, which I'm surprised I'm even saying that it's going to be more dark than what we've already seen. But excuse me, if there's anything that we took away from Kyle's interview is that we haven't seen anything yet. So I think when it's all said and done, I think I think Bray Wyatt wins. Let me back up. I do think he wins. But like Jodie said, I don't think it's going to be Funhouse Bray or The Fiend that puts John Cena away. I think one of these other characters, one of these other faces will emerge, and that will be the thing that takes John Cena down. And I also think we could possibly see Cena succumb to darkness himself.
Yeah.
And I believe that maybe there may be some type of change for Cena as well in this match.
Very cool, man. Very cool. And so this is what I want to see. And I know when I talk to you guys, I tend to grasp onto some of my geek roots here, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to geek out a little bit. I'm going to go back to a comic book I read years ago. It was a Batman comic book. It's called I can't remember it now. It's been a long time, but it's a comic book that focuses on the Joker, right? We know there's maybe a little bit of Joker elements to this character, maybe in the way the Fiend mask looks. And this is a great story where the Joker tries to prove that anyone can turn insane. And what does he do? He gets Commissioner Gordon. He tortures them basically and puts him through a funhouse. When I think of a funhouse, I'm thinking of horrific fun houses, man. I'm thinking of you're in that ride, right? And you're going through a dark ride and you're out of everywhere. There's darkness. And then you just see stuff pop out at you and you see, something grabs you and something. That's what I want to see in this. I want to see, again, if the characters are going to be there, I want to see Abby the Witch come out and look like the nun with the black stuff coming out of her eyes and just pop out of nowhere. And I want to see them just just totally mess with Cena's mind and stuff like that all through this, and that he just at the end doesn't know where to turn, and he's just, he's fighting for his life in there. And maybe, like Jeff said, he does get the advantage on Funhouse Bray, and then, and then Fiend comes in, and maybe he even gets the advantage on Fiend too, and he thinks he's got it, and then smack right at the end of that, out comes whatever this new persona is going to be, and just that's it. That's all he has left, and this whatever this thing is just demolishes John Cena to win that. And yes, Jeff, I totally agree. After something like that happens to you, like it happened in that comic book, the person who the Joker did that to goes a little bit crazy, and that, man, I would love to see that at the end.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slaughter.
Man, totally would love to see it. Can't wait, guys. Can't wait. Listen, thank you for joining us for this episode. We really appreciate it. Hey, join us for that interview. Do not miss this interview especially if you are a Bray Wyatt fan. Even if you're not, don't miss this interview, guys. You need to listen to this. It is a long interview. I will warn you. It's about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe in and around that time. So I know you guys over that are friends over in England, I know you guys are up late the way it is, but you do not want to miss this interview after WrestleMania this coming Saturday. So please join us there. And as always, thank you for everything, you guys. Thank you for everything you send us, everything you give us, everything you retweet. We love it. Keep doing it. And we will talk to you on Monday during Abby's window and then during our podcast. Guys, have a fantastic WrestleMania weekend. I hope you all have a great time and enjoy. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.